I believe that without a doubt, you and I can agree that one of the biggest problems that face entrepreneurs, or in particular SMEs in South Africa and abroad and in every other place, is growth. It is always difficult to scale a business. Starting can be simple, but scaling a business from one stage to the next always is a challenge. But now, first with such a problem, what if I went further and told you that uh, there are a lot of other entrepreneurs that are scaling up, not only in South Africa, but across the globe, but without really focusing on capital? Because in most cases, failure to grow usually is linked to capital. But there are other strategies that you can use. In this case, we are talking about collaboration. In this video, I will reveal exactly how the mastermind principle can 10x your business, even in tough economic times like this, without spending a cent more. Hi, my name is Kenneth Phiri from Phiri Consulting, where we help entrepreneurs like you build scalable, profitable, and fundable businesses. If you are serious about scaling, if you're serious about growth, now you are in the right place. Don't hesitate. Do subscribe to the channel. Each and every week we release a fresh and exciting content with strategies that have been tried and tested to work, in particular in the South African business environment, and these will also work wherever you might be in the world. So do subscribe. Now the question now arises, what is the mastermind principle? Napoleon Hill, in his book Think and Grow Rich, called it the cornerstone to success. Now, the mastermind principle is simple this. The mastermind principle is where two or more people come together. In this case, it could be two or more businesses or business owners come together, and their collective insights, knowledge, energy will create something that is greater than the sum of the parts. So basically what we're saying here is that there is strength in numbers, and that strength is what we call the mastermind principle. Now, the mastermind principle goes just beyond networking. This is a powerful strategy that a lot of successful businesses are using today. Now, take for instance, let's say there is a digital marketing SME, and then he combines or partners with a local videographer. Now, and then they create a package that they present to the customer. Now, you'll find that that content bundle will be much better than these two working separately. It will create better value for the customer. It will also bring better value for them. Instead of them working separately and probably even overlapping each other in terms of competition here and there, when they work as one force, the amount of success that they are bound to have is way greater. Another example would be a township fashion brand that partners with a logistics company. And in doing so, the logistics company sort of solves their distribution or their delivery issues. So in that way, both of them gain, but the value that they produce then is greater than each of them working separately. Okay, now let's look at the reasons why the mastermind principle works. Okay, in most cases, you'll see that a lot of entrepreneurs or SMEs fail because they are working separately. They are working sort of like in a silo, where all their operations, their activities are done in isolation. Now, oftentimes, this brings about a lot of frustration. This brings about limitation in terms of what they can do with the available resources that they have at hand. So, making the mastermind principle or collaboration with other entrepreneurs the right kind of strategy to employ in order to push the growth of their particular business. Okay, now this is exactly why the mastermind principle works. Now, the first and foremost is that it creates an environment of shared knowledge and ideas. Now, in most cases, this is the birth of innovation, and in other cases, can even lead to inventions. What you're basically saying is that you've got probably a knowledge about the market, knowledge about products and so forth. When you combine these from different operators, then this creates a scenario where a optimum performance in that particular market can be reached. And with that kind of performance, success and growth is always the result. The second reason why it works is because it fosters accountability. Now, you have partnered maybe with 2, with 3, or maybe 4 other businesses or other business owners. Now, which means that you've got a particular thing that you need to do and the others are doing something else. You are now accountable, especially when what you do connects to someone else's activity and so forth and so forth. This creates a chain of accountability. If you are doing on your own, or if you're operating your business on your own, chances are that when times come where you're feeling depressed, dejected, chances are that you might not even get out of bed on those times. But when you know that there's someone else counting on you to do a particular task, this always motivates you to go the extra mile to make sure that you perform according to their expectation. In doing so, you are fulfilling your quota of activities and the whole operation goes forth and the businesses can now grow together as this happens. The third reason is diverse skill set. Okay, imagine a scenario then that you trained as a marketing specialist. Probably you went to college, did marketing management. You are running a digital marketing business. You partner with someone who is an engineer. The engineer is responsible for developing a product. He has developed a product, partners with you to market the product into the market. You've got someone else who did administration. They've got an administration business that administers finances, administers information, data, and everything for the entire organization, or for you, for your digital marketing efforts, and also for the production side of things. Now, the sum of all these parts will always produce a greater result, because now you have created sort of specialized units that have come together with a special skill set. And with this special skill set, you are ensuring that there is optimum performance in each of the activities, and this will always lead to maximum growth, and you see your business scaling and moving forward. And the next reason is access to markets. Let's say, for instance, you as a South African have developed maybe a web app, or maybe it's a booking app, and then you have decided to partner with others in different countries in the region, maybe people in SADC, people in West Africa, and so forth. As you venture out into those markets, these other businesses, or it could be hotels, it could be other recreational centers, it could be whatever it might be, as long as you're partnering with them, they're having access to what you have created. You're having access to their markets, to their other operations, other systems, and so forth. Such a collaboration will always bring about great growth potential if pursued and if done systematically. And this is exactly why the Mastermind Principle works. And again, this goes without mentioning that all of this will always happen without spending extra money or without need for extra capital. This is one of the most important reasons why the Mastermind Principle is always a preferred strategy, because you don't need to raise more money. You are depending on the resources of your partners within that particular circle to ensure that they provide that which you do not have. And in bringing all these resources, these ideas, this knowledge, insights about the market and about products, growth then can be achieved in such circumstances. Okay, I think it goes without saying again that not all collaborations will work. Obviously, there are other circumstances where the Mastermind Principle will not work. Now, one of the reasons why the Mastermind Principle will not work is where there are no clear goals or clear objections. Now, if there are no clear objections, oftentimes this will always lead to overlap in activities, overlap in performance. It basically means that there is waste. If there is waste is always an added cost to operations. Because if I don't know exactly what I ought to be doing, I might be doing those activities and pursuing an objective or a target that someone else is supposed to be pursuing. Yes, we might have formulated a good partnership, but if the objectives are not clear, and then the implementation there is going to be skewed as well. Now, that being the case, obviously in such an instance, that mastermind principle is not going to produce the right kind of results. Another reason is unbalanced value exchange. Now, what I mean by unbalanced value exchange is that there are circumstances where there is no balance in terms of who is creating what value. Okay, maybe there's too much dependence on one particular partner, and very little is being brought in by the rest of the partners. It's a partnership of about 4 small organizations coming together, and all of them are dependent primarily on the value that is created by the company that is producing the product. And these other guys who are supposedly doing marketing or other activities are not generating as much value as the other one. So in such cases, there's bound to be friction arising, because you can see that probably someone is being shortchanged. If that's the case, therefore, even the split of income and so forth is always impossible. So in such an instance, yes, it will not work. Another reason is no skin in the game. If definitely you don't have any skin in the game, the chances of you putting as much effort or input there is always minimized. What is it that you can lose or you can gain for your performance in that particular collaboration? The greater the risks that you face for when it fails, the higher the potential of you increasing or improving your professional or operational capacity in that. Therefore, if you don't have skin in the game, then it becomes very difficult to really know exactly and tell how your performance or how your input is going to be like. The last but not least, a reason why they fail is lack of trust. Okay, now if there's no trust amongst partners, amongst businesses that have collaborated, obviously then it is difficult then for that to work in any partnership. Trust is always the foundation for a fruitful working relationship. If that is not there, then this is not going to work, not at all. Okay, now let's look at exactly how would you go about building a mastermind. The first thing that you must do is to find 2 to 4 other business owners or other entrepreneurs that are really hungry about growth. They must be as hungry for growth as you are. If you're just finding someone and you're pushing them or forcing them into that particular partnership, and they don't have as much appetite for growth as you, then this is where you will have differences in terms of performance, in terms of value exchange. So you need to look for a like-minded people with the same kind of drive, the same kind of hunger for growth that you have. Now, once you have done that, then you can go to the second stage. Now, in the second stage, what you are focusing on is you're focusing on businesses that are not in competing industries. These can only work if the partners that you come up with, or the people that you partner with are in complementary or supplementary industries. What I mean by that is that maybe they are part of the value chain, right? But they're not doing exactly what you do. For instance, if maybe they are up or down the value chain, maybe they are a distributor or they are supplier. Let me give you an example of, let's say you own a butchery, a meat market, all right? Then it means that you can partner with an abattoir where the beasts are slaughtered, okay? Where the beef or pork, the cows and so forth are slaughtered. And then You can also partner with someone who's got a farm where they are grown, right? So which means you're creating a seamless value chain. All of you in that value chain want to get that product which is made to the final user. You can now collaborate with other retailers and so forth when you grow your distribution chain. So in that way, they are complementing each other but are not directly competing, because your customers are different customers. All right. So the farmer sells only to the abattoir. All right. The abattoir sells to wholesale meat sellers, and then to butcheries and so forth and so forth. So in that case, this might work because they are complementing each other, not competing with each other. The third thing that you need to consider when you're formulating that mastermind is now to have meetings. It could be weekly, it could be bi-weekly, either face-to-face or online. These days, because of distance and because of advancements in technology, you can always do this online. It will be preferable that way, because now you can easily schedule some of these things, and this can happen without really compromising much of your operations time. And then the next one is you need to have a clear agenda. Now, if you've got a clear agenda, this means that you share common challenges, and then you have common wins, and then you've got next steps. Everything that you share is common. Now, the reason why it has to be common is so that we can avoid the overlap. Avoiding the overlap avoids or runs away from waste. Waste management means that we are reducing cost as much as possible. If we're able to bring costs down, then we're able to make more profit. Because remember, at the end of the day, to get profit, we're always going to say revenue minus cost. The greater the cost, the lesser the profit that you're going to make. So waste being one of the components that contributes to cost, it has to be managed, and it has to be managed well. Without doing so, then we have a serious problem there. Okay, now last but not least, then you need to set common growth goals, right? Now, if they are just centralized your growth goals, it means that you've got a centralized referral system. You could do that. You could have circumstances where everything else aligns, because remember, you're in this together, because when one scales, all of you scales. So you need to have a commonality as far as your growth goals are concerned. This comes to even the KPIs that you will use to measure growth, so that you've got uniformity in that particular cycle, and a measurement by one can also be analyzed by the other, and then in this way growth can now be attributed to everyone involved, and in so doing everyone benefits. It's win-win for everyone involved. So I think it's clear here that if you really want to grow your business, you don't really need to do it alone. Collaborations are one of the quickest ways for you to scale your business. But now, having done that, this is what I'll offer you. If you're really interested about scaling your business, you are in South Africa or wherever you might be, here at Phiri Consulting, what we do is we help businesses like you or small entrepreneurs. You could be even a medium-sized entrepreneur. Now, we'll help you with some business coaching using what has always worked with other entrepreneurs. We're using data that is relevant, that is current. We also offer tools for funding, such as business plans. We offer growth strategies that have been tried, that have been tested, and we can even offer you some of the research material so that you can look at it for what we have done with other organizations here in South Africa and the growth that we have produced and that we continue to produce. Don't hesitate, just leave a comment or just DM me. If you're seeing this on any other socials, just DM or leave a comment or use any of the contacts down below. Give us a shout out if you want your branding done, if you want your digital marketing and any other growth strategies. We offer a free consultation, free first consultation, where we can have a discovery call with you to find out exactly what you need. It is free. Just contact us and then we can talk next steps. Don't hesitate. Contact us today, and so that we get this growth started and we get started now. Otherwise, always remember that early preparation equals excellent results. Thank you so much for watching. This is Phiri Consulting. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.